Hi everybody, I hope you guys are doing great today. We're going to be pulling some general messages for all of the signs, but I am going to be front loading with some astrology. I'm going to timestamp below in the description. So go into the description box if you don't want to listen to the few minutes of astrology beforehand. But enough of you are enjoying it that I want to front load it with it. So let's talk about some of the main transits from January 13th to January 19th. I do have Sam and Charlie, my two meditation buddies, hanging out with us today. I never did introduce you to them, but anyway, let's get right into the energy. So we're all going to be still dealing with the stellium that we had in Capricorn last week, making us think about our role in life and relationships and goals and ambitions, and it's going to be something a little bit different for each of us. The houses that it's hitting for each of us is going to be a little different. And the main house for your archetype I am going to be mentioning in the individual video, so I don't want to get into that now, but let's get right into how we have Venus entering Pisces. I really like this. This is beautiful. It's entering on the 13th of January. It's going to be there until February 7th rather, I'm sorry. Pisces is such a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful fishy energy, sees life in rainbow colored dream kind of things, and is ruled by Neptune. So, things that are Neptunian are very dreamy. Remember, Neptune, for those of you who didn't know, is the father of the emotions, right, in mythology. So in there with Venus, the goddess of love, and also how we think about our connection, how we think about money, our connection to money. So we're going to be thinking about all of these things. And we're going to be getting into a space where we're just going to be embracing things more, where we're going to be able to forgive and understand and just embrace some new ideas and a new way of thinking. There's also, because it's Venusian, there's something very seductive about this energy. You can be very seductive, you can be very, seducible, but regardless, everyone is really compassionate pretty much in this energy to partners of all kinds. So that could be both intimate and business, but this is a very tender and affectionate energy, even though you may experience a sort of longing that's hard to ignore or even define in your soul. And if you're feeling that, it's okay. It's going to feel like a little bit of an echoing, right? This echoing. And again, that's just Neptune. Okay, so just, kind of put it in perspective. Understand that in this energy, it's common for boundaries to feel blurred, having some issues with that. And for those of you who might be susceptible to the shadow side of this energy, for whatever reason, you might end up feeling in a way like you feel victimized or deluded about a situation. You're trying to find yourself very much evading a certain truth or reality, all right? So but that's not for everybody. For the most part, this is really very much a beautiful, compassionate, very nice vibe, and it's going to end up lightening up when Mercury ingresses into Aquarius, okay? So we have, but going back to what I just mentioned about Venus entering Pisces, you want to look in your chart to see where is your Venus fall, where does your Venus fall, and where is Pisces in your chart. And those areas are going to be feeling that deeper level of compassion, that deeper, the seductive qualities. You're going to be feeling it even more in there. Now on January 16th all the way to the 23rd, we do have Mercury's ingressing into Aquarius. We'll be there until the 3rd. This is very positive transit, guys, very positive. So you want to think about, where is Mercury in your chart? So you want to look for Mercury, Gemini, or Virgo, right? Because those are ruled by Mercury, as well as Aquarius, right? Or Neptune, because Neptune rules Aquarius. But this is where we're just going to be hungry to learn and grow and open up. A lot of new ideas are coming in, very original ideas. We're going to be thinking out of the box here, which is really cool, right? Because think about Uranus. That's what Uranus does. It's surprises, but it's change too, and different ideas coming in. And we're all just naturally going to become more, not overnight, mind you, but these things are going to start hitting us, where we're going to start identifying how we're becoming more progressive and objective in our mindset, kind of across the board, where there's this a heavy energy of inventing and progressive thinking at its peak for both personal and professional circumstances in your life. And the only thing here is Mercury's doing a little square in action here with Uranus the last couple of days, and you have that with the Mercury in Aquarius. So this ends up creating this kind of weird angle where it's that bullying energy that I mentioned when I did the monthly. I don't want you to worry about it too much because it is a positive transit, but this is definitely a good, like, to be forewarned, to be forearmed. If somebody is being really abrupt with you, or you find yourself losing your marbles over somebody else, for something that they did, really just try to reconnect and ground yourself and understand that that's just the energy and it's going to pass. So just kind of like let it pass if you can. And then we do have on the 17th, we have the last quarter moon in Libra, and this is where you might be feeling a strong need for balance and harmony now, right? You desire to keep things nice and copacetic. You want to make sure that you don't do that at the like cost of holding back both your good and bad feelings. This is very much because you guys are tarot people, like a Four of Pentacle vibe, where you might feel this need to protect yourself and just protect the peace. You just don't want nonsense. A lot of us are going to be feeling, kind of afraid to be who we really are, despite what's expected from us, just because we want to keep the peace. So that's definitely there. But we do have Palace entering Capricorn, and I really like this because this is just about creative intelligence, hard work, getting stuff done, getting good stuff done, and that's it. As far as the important transits go, that is what we need to be mindful of this week, guys. Now let's pull some cards. See you in a minute. Hi, Sagittarius. I hope you guys are doing great today. So let's get right into this. Your general messages for this week. So you guys are going to be having the focus on your second house. That second house is naturally associated with Venus and Taurus, but the energies, it's the energy of the house that you're going to be dealing with. So this is about forming a more solid self, a more solid sense of I. That is looking at the attachment of your identity to your physical body and defining your own identity by giving more specific boundaries and shape to who you are based on your inherent qualities and capabilities that you can further develop. So it's a really nice energy, and it's identifying what gives you a sense of value or worth. Like, what do you think constitutes security for you? So this is an energy to think about what you attach yourself to, what you possess or hope to possess, in your relationship and attitude towards money and towards the material world. So that's really going to be your focus the year, but it's really going to kind of be coming front and center in your psyche this coming week. So let's get your crowning energy. Eight of Earth, Eight of Pentacles. Nice, guys. This is about building, right? I do like that. Let's get your gift. Six of Earth, Six of Pentacles. Nice. And Six of Water, right? Six of Cups. So let's get right into this, and I'll put those over here. And we'll use the Chakra Tarot to find out more about this. A gift for the week. Okay, let me move the Six of Water down here. Okay. All right. So let's get into... All right. Let's get your... This is you in the recent past. Okay. Let's get you in the present. These cards are a little wonky. So this is your recent past. This is you now. This is your challenge. This is the outcome of the situation. So the crowning is the Six of Earth, Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles is a really nice energy because this is about, actually, who else got this? Capricorn just got this as the gift. So this is about moving into a space where you're going to feel more supported and you're going to be able to be supportive. It's really kind of this, there's this reciprocity about it, about you being there for somebody, them being there for you. So it can be in the having to do with money, actual money, being able to help somebody out. Some of you may be in that space. Guys, remember, these are general messages. So I'm going to try to hit for relationship, for career, friends, and family. So if it has to do with money, that can be indicated. But it's definitely like this idea of mental, physical, and emotional connection, the other meanings of the Pentacle energy, that's going to be crowning you. So I really like that. That's very, very healthy. Now, in the recent past, we have here the Seven of Swords energy in reverse. So the Seven of Swords is a card of thievery. So it can feel like you might have been in a space where you felt like somebody took something from you. So this definitely could have been in the 3D, like literally finances or some sort of material something. Or it could just be somebody took something from you, like literally a piece of you, quite literally a piece of you. Or this could just be a conflict having to do with what's real, what's not. Because if swords are truth, and if they're reversed, that means there's a lack of truth, there's a lack of honesty going on, and there's a fight about what's true, what's not true. And it really is kind of, those of you who've been watching me know I really don't like this energy. I do think that all the cards have an upside and a downside. The upside to this is that there's a lot of air clearing on the other side of it, but the downside is it's a nasty kind of arguing. You know, if it's showing itself in the 3-day. 10 of Wands does indicate the end of a cycle being over. Right? So it's like one sword at a time over time in your back. So it's definitely is an end of a cycle in your recent past. But now we're moving into where you are now, and I'm loving it, man. You're the Queen of Coins. Queen of Coins. This is a beautiful energy. It's about being large and in charge with your finances. And if you're not there yet, if you haven't arrived yet, you're at least nurturing, cultivating an idea that's going to bring you to this space. If you're thinking about changing careers right now, this should be a sign that you're making the right decision. This is a good thing having to do with finances. If this has anything to do with a job, this is moving into a space where there's just a lot. You're going to feel very connected to it. You're going to have support that you need. If it's got to do with a relationship, lots of really good communication, openness, connectedness. Really nice. I like this for whether it's work or whether it's any kind of relationship. This is like communication's on point. If you're in an intimate relationship, the intimacy is there. Your social life is good. It's really, really good. Now, right now, this tells me that you're in the space of this energy. Now, if you're not in the space in the 3D yet, you've identified that you know what you want. You know what you want as far as relationship goes. So if you're cycling out of a relationship here in this recent past, you're very much getting in touch with what you need in the way of support, what you need in the way of finances, somebody showing up equal to you to the table, a relationship in every single way. Really, really nice. And I feel like for a lot of you, that's definitely going to be happening with the Hierophant energy, but it has to do with your religion and your spirituality. But it goes deeper than that. It's further than that, because not everybody, follows an organized religion or anything like that. This really has to do with your moral code, your moral compass, and what you believe is the right way to be in relationship, what you think is healthy, and what's necessary for you, and your understanding of what's necessary for you to bring to a relationship. And you're thinking about this, and you're really actually using these conclusions to outline what you're going to allow in your life and what you're not going to allow in your life anymore. And that's a very strong energy to have in the present. So I get a very solid vibe, Sagittarius, from you right now. I really like it. I mean, and just going to your crowning energy here for this week, the 8 of Earth is about, it's the building and the saving and the accumulating that's necessary to level yourself up, right? It's the saving for a home. It's the being really entrenched in the planning phase of something, really solidifying your ideas to level you up. It's past the apprentice stage. It's like you're on the right path already, and now it's just a matter of cultivating that path to really bring everything into fruition. Entirely positive. Really nice energy. The little caveat with this I do want to say is that energy might not be fun. And Sag, I know you guys like to have a good time, you like to travel and all of that, but this is the kind of energy where you might not have a lot of leftover finances to do the things that you just like to do just for fun, because you're looking to allocate your funds someplace else because you're saving something for something larger. It might be the situation where you're needing to put more of yourself into a relationship, rather than maybe spending time with your friends or in your hobby or traveling. It's just a matter of like reallocating your resources, whether it's personal or whether it's actual money, to build something, to help build something greater and bigger, more down the road. So it's really good though. At the end of the day, it's good. And then as far as your challenge with this goes, we have the Emperor and the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is conflict, right? And it's conflict, having a battle of the wills. There's a battle of the wills here about, who's willing to put in what. This is about, if this is an internal battle of the wills, this could be you arguing with yourself. How much do you really want something at the cost that it may cost you? And this can be a challenge. But it's not a big deal right here, because then we have the Emperor. So I do feel like for some of you, the challenge here is feeling fully in control of your life. Fully in control. And the thing is, Sagittarius, you just have to understand and accept the beauty of your archetype is that it really is challenging to hold you guys down. As a matter of fact, I think that was what I titled your video last week. It's very important for you guys to feel autonomous in a relationship, for you to feel the sense of independence. It doesn't mean you don't love. It doesn't mean that you're not there for your partner or for your employees, employer, family, friend, whatever. It's not what it means at all. It just means that it's very important for you to have this fundamental feeling of being free. And if you are in a situation where you don't feel like that, even if there's no malice attached to it, just by circumstance, you get very antsy. You really do get very antsy. So you can be feeling a little micromanaged right now. And this could be a struggle where you feel like you're not in as charge of your life as you want. In the same way, this can indicate that something else you feel like is sort of driving the car in your life right now. Now, for some of you, this may simply just be, the Emperor could just be father time, good old Kronos, right? Where things have to evolve, things have to play out in a certain way in order for you to evolve into the next space, and you're feeling a little restless within that. Now, the outcome energy is the Princess of Swords reverse. So and then we have the Fool. So what this tells me is, first of all, let's look at the Fool energy, awesome energy, and that's about taking a calculated risk, really positive energy, not knowing what's in front of you, but doing it anyway, really not knowing what is on the other side of it all, but just knowing intuitively that you're doing the right thing. Now, the Princess of Swords is somebody coming in. Now, because it's a court card, guys, this could be you, it could be someone else, or it could be the situation. So if this is you, this could indicate that you have reached some sort of epiphany, right? Where the gift here is recognizing that you're not feeling the amount of support that you want in your life, and that you're living a path that's not true to yourself. And you recognizing that you haven't been really, really honest with yourself, that you've been in a way telling yourself lies, right? Because that is, the Swords reverse is an indication of there being lies, but it really can be internal, and it doesn't have to even be malicious. It's just, telling ourselves a certain story to make ourselves feel better, but you realizing your truth, and that this is really not this is not serving you. You're realizing what's working for you and what's not working for you, and you want to move this other way. Now, for others of you, if this has to do with somebody else, it's you realizing that someone, whether it be a boss, an employee, an intimate partner, a friend, family member, they haven't been honest with you. They haven't been honest with you, and you're recognizing you're very in touch with what it is that you consider right and moral and good for you, and you just don't want to stand for it. So you're going to be really transitioning out of this situation for sure. Okay. Now, for others of you in a very solid relationship if you don't resonate with any of those, if you're in a very solid relationship, you guys together as a couple can be realizing that the path that you guys on is not the right path for you guys. Right? Where you're sitting down and you're realizing that you need to really get to the core of what you each really need and want out of the relationship. And you may realize that it ends up bringing the relationship on a whole new path that's unfamiliar to both of you, but really, really exciting. Just really exciting nonetheless. So I do feel like there's this shift, there's this movement, but I do feel like there is this idea of support. You either getting in touch with what kind of support you need, or you gaining the support, having the support existing in your life right now. So I do like that. Okay, so let's deal with the Six of Cups energy. Okay. So cups have to do, you know, the water, water has to do with the cups. This has to do with emotions. Okay. And yeah. So let's pull the cards first, and then we'll talk about all of this. So we have Justice first as the recent past of this challenge. Okay. And there is you right away. I'm thinking that this is you reflecting on something that happened in the past that makes you think about what was fair and what was not fair in that circumstance, right? But I feel like you were in a space, honestly, Sagittarius, where either you believe that situation was true for you, or you really showed up in a very fair way, in a very Ten of Pentacles way. Well, let's just pull everything in. So the Six of Cups is about, it's actually really beautiful energy having to do, it's love, and it's getting in touch with the inner child. It's feeling nostalgic. It is the card of reconnection. Now this is your challenge. Keep in mind, this is your challenge. So reflecting back to a way something was once upon a time, but not in a negative way. See, in the reverse, it would be something, you're thinking back to something that needs to very much stay in the past, Sag, right? But here in the upright, you're reflecting on something that really wasn't as bad maybe as you might have thought it was in the moment. So this could be back to a job, back to a relationship, back to a friendship, back to a dynamic within your family. But there is this visiting back, this going back to, okay? And I just feel like this is really kind of, you're tapping into this as it is in your challenge, but I feel like it's part of you going through those second house energies and you really evaluating what gives you worth, what's security to you, you know? Thinking about where you want to develop yourself, thinking back to where you were and what you wanted to be once upon a time and what you considered really important and valuable in relationships and comparing it to what's important to you now. So there's going to be very much a very kind of like internal sweeping going on here. Now, this doesn't have to do with any of the blessing. The blessing can be separate. This could have to do with relationship. This could be career. This could be career. This could be a family situation, right? Apply it how the messages work for you, but that is definitely the crowning energy. So let's go back to, this is the crowning energy, this feeling of nostalgia, missing, this desire for reconnection, right? As you move and you build your life forward. So this is a very forward moving energy, but it's where you're reflecting back on a time that in your mind, you view that time as being very beautiful with the Ten of Pentacles energy, in that you had what you needed. You had that mental, emotional, and physical connection with that person, that situation, that job that brought you the money that you needed back then, right? And then it just all seems so much more fair now that you're looking back on it than in how maybe you originally perceived the situation at the time. So this could certainly indicate like a reconnection with an old friend, an intimate partner, reconnecting with old family. Some of you may physically be reconnecting with family, but it is this idea that in reflection, that's what it is. Now, the challenge, and so you're thinking back to this, right? And the challenge is, what you're feeling here is a lot of pain. And the pain of this remembering, and the pain of looking back on something and recognizing where you are right now, it's creating a challenge for you. You're trying to assimilate the past with the present. Three of Swords energy, this is what you're feeling right now regarding this challenge, and this is the card of pain. This can be a third-party situation, does not have to be though. I always say this could be the third sword, could be anything external to you guys that ended up impacting the relationship, that caused a lot of pain for you and a lot of betrayal. So this could absolutely indicate somebody's mask at some point falling off, where something happened within the dynamic of the relationship and you believe that that person all of a sudden was not who they claim they were. It could have been a gross situation of very bad communication, or something like that, but you feeling, at least at the time, and you really trying to grapple with that they're not the person that they presented themselves to be. This could also be somebody being very irresponsible with money in the past in some way that ended up, but you're feeling the pain now, right? And it's just the way maybe they spent a lot of money that, you know, you guys as a couple didn't have, and it ended up impacting the way you do life. Them speaking badly about you to family, speaking badly about you to anyone. I mean, anything that would incite betrayal, and you feeling like you're just not going to have that you cannot have that ultimate utopia with them, which is the sun energy, which is still super positive in the reverse, guys. It really, really is. And I always say we're energetic beings, and through choice and exercise of our free will, any of these reversals can be turned upright. You know, absolutely any of them. But this is still very positive. It just means not now. And I'm getting that there's some sense of pain that you're dealing with something from the past. Now, your challenge here is letting go of it, because we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is a new cycle in the heart space where you're giving your heart, you're opening your heart. There's an open sharing of feelings, and you're just very closed off. It's a challenge for you to not feel that blocked off. It's a challenge for you to not feel self-protected. I mean, these really are two of the cards that I associate most with self-protection, particularly Four of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you're being you're being greedy, rightfully so, but greedy with your ability to connect, because you want to protect yourself. You want to protect yourself emotionally and mentally. You need to protect yourself. And for many of you, even physically, right? Depending on the situation. But that's the challenge here, right? Is that you're remembering something, but you know, like you just can't really open up to it, you know? But then in the outcome, we have the King of Pentacles, which is beautiful. The King of Pentacles is about really arriving in this space where you have everything that you need in the 3D in order to have the success. But still, the challenge will be opening your heart. It's like out in the 3D, everything's going to be lining up for you, Sagittarius. Do you know what I mean? Like the money, the connection. There is this something that I for many of you, I mean, I'm just going to say it, there is a reconnection here. There's a reconnection to something, even if it's only mentally as you sieve through something. But it's going to end up, whatever it is that you're working out or working through regarding this past connection or this past situation, it's going to benefit you. It's going to help you to move forward. This is a really good thing, but what you're going to have to really figure out, it's going to be something different to each of you, is how to actually open your heart up again, or really allow yourself to be vulnerable and exposed, you know, like really, not just saying it. You know what I mean? Because this is definitely what I'm getting. I mean, this is actually very, very clear. You're reflecting on something in the past that was better than you're remembering it. It was actually, like, in reality better, right? Now that you're thinking back to it, than whatever it is that you've evolved into. And I feel like there is a revisiting back to this, but at the same time, you're having a really hard time opening yourself up. You really are. You're having a very hard time opening yourself up because of whatever that situation was that brought you into that space. Okay, so let's pull some for those Sagittarians open to love or in love. Let's see what kind of general messages we get, guys. It's not going to hit all of you. You'll know if the message is for you. Okay, you'll know. Let's see what we get. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where it leads. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. Yeah? I mean, we're right in the throes of that right now. Right? Try not to resist change. Yeah, I mean, listen. It seems like that's what, because isn't it true that when we close our hearts off and when we go into the self-protect mode, we're resisting anything else from coming in? Because, guys, all these energies that we're talking about, all these energies we're talking about, Pluto, Capricorn, yada, 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 understand that all of these changes and these house energies and everything, it doesn't happen out here. It happens inside. You understand? The energies are in us. That's why, really, if you think about it, and I want you to think about it like that, so it makes more sense when we all say, you know, don't allow yourself to be blocked. Like literally you have rooms. Think about it as your soul inside of your body, okay? Inside of this silly, messy thing that we call our body in the 3D is our soul. And think about it just being a lot of rooms, a bunch of rooms. And when we resist change and when we go into that self-protect mode and that, we're putting walls up in these rooms so that the energy can't really flow freely through. So a lot of times when we hear about these really positive, energetic, circumstances going on in the sky, fabulous conjunctions, this, that, and the other thing, and we're like, yeah, really? Because like it's not showing up in my life. No, it is. It's inside of you. But this is where it's very important to understand where we block ourselves. And you know what, quite frankly, sometimes it's fine to block ourselves if we don't feel ready to go into that next space. Nothing wrong with that. I think we've all been there, right? Wedding rings, okay. Stabbed in the back, okay. And passion. Oh, Sagittarius, okay. Well, wedding rings, obviously, this is a soul connection, everlasting promise, eternal love. Clearly, it could be getting married. It doesn't have to be, but just in that space, you know, like that mentality. And then we have stabbed in the back. There's heartbreak, pain, there's separation, deception here. Okay, and then there's passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. All right, I am feeling that for some of you who've been out of contact, there's going to be a reconnection here because we're going to be really tapping into the idea that there is a shifting cycle. And, you know, the energy here suggests that you should recognize your pain, recognize any sort of heartbreak and deception that you felt on whatever level. And guys, I'm going to say my spiel right now that I always do. Just because the energy is here doesn't mean you have to engage. Does not mean you have to engage. If this person did you dirty, don't bother with them. Keep it going. Because all of these transits that we're going through, especially in 2020, there's no exaggeration here. This is a life-changing year. Is meant to bring us to a more fulfilled, happy, peaceful space. And if it's somebody who was a narcissist, not good for you, had any of those potential qualities, you know what I mean, okay? Cheating, deflection, gaslighting, all of that stuff, keep them in the past. Don't bother re-engaging. But if it was otherwise, this sense of betrayal, which was indicated here, and for another reason, I mean, there are other reasons why we feel betrayed in relationships, and it was, other than that, a pretty healthy relationship. I do see that once there's a recognition of there being this cycle, and that just being a very unhealthy cycle, you guys moving into a much healthier cycle that's very full of passion. You guys just having a really beautiful time. You guys really connecting on a very soul level, very soul level. But you can only do that by just acknowledging, calling out the heartbreak, having the conversation, addressing it, and then letting it go. Take the lesson and then let it go, you know? But if that's not, you know, yeah. But there's a cycle here, and this next cycle, if this is resonating with somebody, it's definitely cycling into a very passionate soul connection, despite the fact that there was some sort of heartbreak and pain associated with this at one time. So that makes sense to me. Yeah. That to me connects to, if you would, however you were resonating with that challenge, if you were resonating with it as a relationship. That's definitely what I get. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you right now. You guys take care. Have a great week. See you next time. Bye-bye.